Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now April 16th of 2020, and ever since the release of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, a lot of fans around the world have been very intrigued about the future of the Star Wars franchise by Disney and Lucasfilm and exactly where things are going throughout this entire decade of the 2020s. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, the thing about Disney Star Wars is that as of right now, we do know that many changes are in fact being made over at Lucasfilm. In fact, Bob Chapek and Iger are working very closely together as a team in order to really bring Lucasfilm and to really actually bring Lucasfilm into a different direction for how they will be utilizing the Star Wars universe. Now, this new universe, in case you guys did not know, is actually said to be far larger than the old expanded universe that we got back in the 90s and the 2000s that George Lucas approved. So this really is a big deal. This really does tell us, the fans, that either this is in a phase of desperation or this is going to be Disney trying to genuinely satisfy the Star Wars fans. Now, with that being said, everything related to Kathleen Kennedy was, of course, by far one of the big factors into why Star Wars wasn't really doing as best as it really could have been, because of Kathleen Kennedy really interfering with a lot of the creative decisions by, of course, J.J. Abrams, Chris Terrio, and others, a part of other projects of the Star Wars franchise. Now, with that being said, what's really intriguing all has to do with Iger, Chapek, Kathleen Kennedy, you name it, where now that both Disney and Lucasfilm are finished with The Rise of Skywalker, they are focused on their new Star Wars trilogy of films as well as the new Star Wars universe. Now, it's explained that Disney has multiple plans in place in order to create a brighter future for the Star Wars brand, and that they are trying to regain the lost fans from the sequel trilogy movies that made fans leave the franchise to begin with. Now, it's noted that now with Bob Iger stepping back into Disney, many changes are in fact being made to multiple franchises, such as with the Star Wars brand as well as Marvel, where one of the big plans to fire Kathleen Kennedy is in place as early as this year, and that Iger and Chapek already have a decision of an individual of who would be the proper replacement of Kathleen Kennedy. Now, it's said that Kennedy, surprisingly, has actually wanted to leave the Star Wars franchise and Lucasfilm behind, given that she no longer has any creative control over the existing projects in the early development phase, and that Iger is said to have a full plan of firing Kathleen Kennedy sometime this year that will go into full effect sometime in 2021, where Lucasfilm will have to treat Star Wars with special care and deliver authentic stories to the Star Wars fandom. Now, it's noted also that Kathleen Kennedy's power of the roadmap of Star Wars is also being diminished since Bob Iger came back to Disney during the crisis, and that Kennedy now has minimal effect on the Star Wars brand and exactly how it will be utilized for Star Wars fans around the world. This plan by Bob Iger and Chapek is actually said to make sure that there will no longer be any inconsistencies with the Star Wars universe moving forward, and that they want to make it more successful than it has ever been. So, what's really exciting about this is that this is something that fans have been waiting for a very long time, is for Kennedy to be fully let go of Star Wars, in general, where she no longer has any kind of effect on the business end of things, or even the creative end of things. Now, thankfully, the creative end of things are already cut off. That's one good thing. The one thing about the business end of things by Kennedy is that we can see that the marketing of these Star Wars movies haven't really been all that impressive. I mean, if you look at The Rise of Skywalker, I think that the marketing of that movie wasn't really done the best it really could have been. I mean, there's a lot of problems with the marketing strategies of The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker put together. I feel that The Force Awakens was maybe the strongest marketing strategy because they were trying to bring Star Wars back, since of course Revenge of the Sith back in 2005. So obviously, what they're trying to do now is that they are trying to really bring Star Wars in a different direction. They're trying to evolve the franchise beyond what it is right now. And that, to me, I think just shows that Disney has a lot of ambition when it comes to Star Wars. They have a lot of goals in mind as to exactly what Star Wars is going to look like in the next 10 years. Again, they have to take it year by year. It's going to be a very slow process, but by the time 10 years passes, they hope that the Star Wars brand will be as successful, if not more successful, than the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which, by the way, still stands very strong. I will admit, though, that I am a little unhappy with some of the key creative choices by Kevin Feige for Disney Plus and some of the TV shows that they have in the works. But overall, as far as the movies go, they have been very successful so far, and Black Widow looks like a very strong film. So, looking at the future of Star Wars without Kennedy, I think it really is a light at the end of the tunnel. It tells us that there is something more to look forward to than just Kennedy throwing in her agendas into these Star Wars movies and TV shows, you name it. So, like I've said before in the past, guys, let me know what you think about this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. No hiding from night to moon.